For people who have known me personally and who have followed Thought World for a while, I'm sure they're quite aware of my journey with spirituality and healing. I've been quite open, candid, discussing my shortcomings, my obstacles, and the things that I've learned also in the process. So, today is another episode diving deep into spirituality and how it pans out in concept and in practice. But that's not it. Today is a very special day for Thought Vault and for me personally because I have joining me Prachi Bhatia, who's a dear friend, a fellow spirituality nerd, and also a counseling psychologist, a holistic healer, and the founder of ATM, All That Matters, which is a community aiming at spreading mental health awareness and providing quality healthcare. So let's just get into it. First of all, Prachi, thank you so much for joining us. You're our first guest. It's a momentous day for Thought World. And I'm truly excited to have this conversation, not only because this is something that everyone should hear, but also because this is something that I personally value a lot.
Thank you so much for having me. And in fact, I am also looking forward for many people to actually be aware of this. Like you said, people should know about this. So yeah, I think it came from the space where I spoke to you and I saw that passion in the both of us about this. So I am so excited to be here. Thank you so much. And couldn't be more happier to be the first guest.
That's so lovely. So I'm just going to jump right into it. Before I talk about the conceptual part of it, I want to know what your idea of spirituality is.
So I think for me, I was always a believer in energies, right? Whenever I entered a room or whenever I was around people, I could always sense this feeling, right? Somewhat people call it gut feeling, or they can call it I don't know, like this energy that you feel around people. You would observe that whenever you get into a room, either you would feel like very happy, go lucky, or you feel very light, or you enter a room and you're going to feel a little heavy. I think everything around us has to do a lot with energy. And for me, the idea of spirituality is that we're all existing in a place where, say, for example, this mic that you're holding, this pen that we have, even this has its own energy. If I move it, we're going to feel a shift, right? Imagine everything around you in this universe existing, having its own form of energy, influencing your own thoughts, your own emotions, your own energies, your own bodies, right? Very constantly. So it's called clairvoyance. That's where I got into this observation that, yeah, this is real. There is something, and I started exploring more about it. That's when I figured out, okay, this is a world in itself, right? There is a huge population that is actually exploring this or building themselves through spirituality. And then the more deeper I got, I think the more connected I got with myself, with the people around me. And that's where my journey began. So for me, spirituality is something that keeps me going, that brings me a lot more awareness about myself and the world around me, and just has made me a more happier person, I would say.
That's actually a very lovely insight. I mean, is that how you got into practicing psychology as well?
Somewhat. I think my knowledge of psychology helped me understand spirituality better. I guess it was the other way around. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense because a lot of these fields are quite interconnected. I mean, if I talk about myself, I didn't have a big breakthrough moment, as they call it. Like, there was no breakthrough in that sense that, okay, now I suddenly feel aware of things or aware of energies or suddenly, feeling the need to even explore that in general. For me, it was quite lukewarm. I don't know another way to put it because one day I just realized that, okay, things are not going well. I do need to change a certain, the way of living I have. But the process was quite gradual. And instead of, diving deep into the bigger, more overwhelming part of it, like the study part of it or exploring part of it, I felt like it would be a better idea to look inward first. And that's how my healing journey or my spiritual journey or my awakening or whatever word you want to use for it, I think that is how that part started. And for me, let's say my mental health, my personal well being, and my spiritual journey, they're quite interconnected. So there's no one without the other.
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't think that they cannot, I don't think they can exist without each other. Even the words that you used, say healing or enlightenment, healing has a lot of role to play when it comes to mental health as well, right? It's your mind, body, soul, all of these three things are interconnected. And when it comes to spirituality, I think that captures the soul part of you, and the mind can be dealt with. Mental health, I mean, your mental health comprises of your mind and your body both. People think that it can exist in isolation. Your physical health is completely different, your mental health is completely different, but I think it's a combination of the three elements, like I said: mind, body, and soul. So it's very interesting to know that you dived deeper within you. I think for me, because I was already so self-aware, getting into the spirit part of my journey was a transition, right? Because I was already like deeper into it, deeper into myself, knowing myself. So for me, exploring that part was, yes, through theory. I actually learned a lot. I figured out a lot of courses. I learned and studied more about it. And I think that has helped me in my practice as well. But you're so right. So many fields actually cannot exist without the knowledge of, say, spirituality or healing, I guess. It is so important and embedded in all aspects of, say, a person, a human, and we're all humans working in any field. So I always say that psychology or anything else, it's just a part of everything.
Now that we've connected these multiple fields, that as you said, that the physical part and the mental and the spiritual part can't exist in isolation. So this reminds me of something that I've heard quite a lot, and especially when I was starting my spiritual journey, it was very hard to differentiate between these two concepts, and that is religion and spirituality, because these two things are quite normally associated as similar concepts, I would say. And a lot of people have a little bit of confusion in terms of differentiating in terms of practice and even in conceptual part of it कि okay, religion कैसे अलग है spirituality से.
Very true. Very true. I think I've also seen people use both of these terms interchangeably. Yeah. But I think there's a lot of difference. This is obviously coming from a very personal space. I mean, this is my opinion, but I can be little deviant also, but this is what I feel. I think personally, when it comes to religion, there is a certain ideal that you believe in, right? It can be any god entity that you believe in, and there are certain practices that you follow to establish faith. I think one aspect that is common in religion and spirituality is the faith. Okay. But when it comes to spirituality, you don't have an ideal that you worship or you praise or you look forward to pleasing, right? I think I believe in the power of universe, and like I mentioned, there is energy that exists in everything. I believe when it comes to spirituality, it's this energy around you, the universe that exists around you, that you have faith in, right? You believe that it's constantly working in your favor, even if things go wrong. There is something that you can, leave your worries up to. You can be like, okay, this is taking care of me, and I can just be whoever I want and walk whatever way I like. So the faith is, I think, the only thing I believe that is common. The practices are very different when it comes to spirituality. The belief systems are very different, and the ideologies are also somewhat very different. So I think there are a lot of religious theories, philosophical theories, but not very scientific theories when it comes to religion. But there are a lot of scientific theories when it comes to spirituality. Yeah, have you heard any of those? Have you heard any of the scientific theories that are when it comes to spirituality?
I think spirituality and metaphysics have a lot in common. Let's say the law of attraction. Like things like this, even manifestation in its entire being is quite scientific in nature. Like visualizing where you want to be and who you want to be and actually becoming that, I think it's no longer just a theoretical concept or a philosophical idea in itself. I think it's very valid, and people do see results in their physical world, in their physical reality, when they're implementing such practices.
I think when you said metaphysics, and one thing that I could actually relate to was, yes, the scientific concept of, like you mentioned, law of vibration and law of attraction. That has to relate to law of vibration, right? Which says that everything is in a constant state of vibration. Like I mentioned previously also at the start, that everything has energy, right? Coming from that space. So for example, imagine that there is always this energy body around your physical body, okay? And this is the energy that I keep, the vibration that I keep. So even if you see, sound travels, and there is this vibration that you can see whenever there's a sound traveling. So even when you move an object, there is some form of a sound that gets created, right? And I think if you don't believe in the energy, you can believe in the vibration of the sound, right? So there is something moving. There is a shift. That is why when we talk about attraction or manifestation, why do things actually happen in the physical world? How does it actually happen in the physical world? Is because there is always this energy body around you that attracts the energy that you present. So for example, and there is psychology also that plays a role here. So for example, if I have a mindset that's very negative, if I, step out of my house in the morning and I'll be like, आज तो दिन बहुत खराब जाएगा मेरा, ठीक है? अब this is the energy that I'm carrying कि मेरा दिन आज बहुत खराब जाएगा. तो मेरे पैर में कीचड़ भी लगेगी, मेरी गाड़ी भी बंद हो जाएगी, मुझे ट्रैफिक ज़्यादा मिलेगी, because I'm sort of believing that this is how my day is going to look like. And that's how you create the reality for yourself.
Reinforcing that. Yeah.
Exactly. You keep that belief and you attract those kind of energies for yourself, and that's how your thought patterns also start becoming like. So everything is connected. Everything around.
Actually, when you brought that part about everything being energy, it connects so well with the law of physics, that energy is neither created nor destroyed. It moves, it's absorbed, it's reflected, but you can't create or destroy energy. So that's how it's always constantly moving around us. As you said, that, when you move an object, that wave or that ripple that is created because of that vibration, it's going to stay. Either it's going to be absorbed by someone or the room or the space, wherever that you're in, it's going to stay.
And there are different frequencies as well. So if you see, why are yawns and laughs contagious? So if I start laughing, you also start laughing. Yeah, that's very contagious because it's at a very high frequency. Similarly, certain negative energies also get transferred very easily because they are at that frequency. They are at that level of frequency. So that's why, it makes a lot of difference who you're around with, where you're putting yourself, what is the situation that you're in. And all of this awareness comes when you delve yourself into this deeper understanding of yourself and the world around you. That comes with spirituality.
And this jolly, reminds me of my starting point. I mean, I might be circling back to my previous point, but the fact that everything starts with yourself. I started reading about spirituality a while ago, and there are two ways of getting into it, I would say, two ways of adopting it in your life. So let's say some people go through the path of believing in a higher power. That could be the universe, as you mentioned. That could be nature for some people. Some people really are very connected with nature. Could be anything. Could be elements, like any of the elements like fire, water, whatever they might feel the most connected with. The other path that I have read about and also personally experienced is that one way of stepping into this is through the self. Like there's one core center like within you, and there's one core outside of you. So you could take either path. I think that's also the difference between meditation and prayer. Like spiritual practice, meditation is a very common thing that everyone does. And it's one of the most basic things that are introduced as a person practicing spirituality, if you put it like that. But meditation is that's what I feel, that it's a way of connecting with your inner core. And prayer, especially when you embody an external entity, that's how you connect with an idol or a god or the universe, anything that exists outside of you. It's it's such a wondrous thing to just imagine that you're not existing in isolation.
No, not at all.
You're always connected with the people around you, the objects around you, the buildings, the grass, the trees, everything is so wildly connected. It's just insane to think about.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think it makes a lot of sense about what you said of, having these two paths. And I think it all goes and combines to one path. No, even if you start, like if there are six people starting with different paths, you're going to actually go and like form a straight line, like one line somewhere, because like we said, it's cyclical in nature. But there is one thing I would like to add. So when you say that, when you get inside and you start exploring, right? I think you're so true with this point that everything starts within yourself. That's why when we sometimes, talk about the spiritual nature of things, we can also say that it's actually us being spiritual beings having a human experience, not human beings having a spiritual experience. What it means is that, like you mentioned, that it's all connected. Okay, everything has energy. This same energy, a part of that energy, exists within me, right? So that's when I dive inside of me, I find that part of myself that is connected with the whole world, with the people, with the nature, with everything. If I'm able to find that aspect that connects me with everything, I think that's more than enough. That's where you like get into the path.
Another question that I wanted to ask you is that there are a lot of people like me who are curious about this field of spirituality. Like, I am genuinely very interested by studying energies or just learning more about this field and how it corresponds to different aspects of your life. So, generally, people have a very concept versus practice kind of a take to this. And personally speaking, when I started becoming more spiritual, for me, I need to have like, specific tasks that I need to do. Like if someone comes and tells me that, oh, you need to practice gratitude, my first question would be like, how do I do that? How do I start? Because I'm a person who works with to-do lists. What task do I put on that list? So as a starting point, let's say I started meditating, I started journaling, keeping a different segment for gratitude, where I'm only talking about things that I'm grateful about and just appreciating what I have, appreciating the day that I had, the feelings that I went through that day. But other than that, if I really want to kind of escalate this whole process, and I'm sure there are a lot of people like me who are curious about this field, but they kind of struggle with finding a starting point. So what do you think should be that starting point, and how should that journey look like for a person who's interested or curious about the field of spirituality?
Very interesting question. And I think I get this asked quite a lot as well around from the people around me also. See, I think why spirituality is important in your life is because we are all looking to become the best version of ourselves, right? If you're born in this world, then I think might as well just be the best version of you. And spirituality is like the guiding path towards reaching that version, right? There's this term called self-actualization, which actually spiritual people do end up becoming self-actualized, which is very closely associated with Buddha's enlightenment, right? That self-actualization part. So I think it has to do a lot with, like you mentioned, the concept and the practice. I think there is a very thin line between both of those where I believe, it's a very personal opinion, that your belief system plays a very big role here, right? It can be as basic as just starting to get to know yourself, right? Start getting to know yourself better. We also spoke about how you and the universe are connected and how everything around you is connected. When you dive deep within yourself and you start becoming aware of your thoughts, your weaknesses, of your emotions, right? You get such a good hold of yourself that when you put yourself in any situation, you're going to be hopeful, or you're going to be like such a strong believer of I'm gonna like pass this, or I'm gonna like go through with this and get this in my life, or this is what I've thought and I'm gonna achieve it. And that's what we want, right? That's how we want to become. So I think we can start by knowing ourselves better, becoming more aware of your own thoughts, your feelings, your emotions. For your to-do list, ask yourself questions like, what are 5 things that I like about myself? What are the 5 things that I don't like about myself? Moving on to, okay, these are the 5 things that I don't like about myself. What is stopping me, right, from not being this person that I don't want to be?
Yeah.
Recognizing those obstacles and then trying to work on if you can remove those obstacles from that life, from your life. And if you can actually figure out what is stopping you from becoming that version of yourself, pick that up, remove it, move forward. I think for me, spirituality also speaks volumes about maintaining my frequency, right? Maintaining my vibration. Yeah. Because everything is in a vibrational state, like we spoke. Some things are on a higher frequency, some things are not, and some people are also on a higher or lower frequency, right? So negative emotions, negative energies, negative words usually bring you to a lower frequency. And whereas if you have like good affirmative words, positive words, it takes you to a very higher frequency and makes it easier for you to become the best version and achieve the things that you want in life. So for me, it's maintaining that power, that frequency and that vibration for yourself, which, if you're aware of who you are as a person, translates the whole trust. That makes so much sense because even, this is something that I learned in therapy also. Like when you're starting out on a healing journey of any kind, you need to know yourself first because only then can you have boundaries. Only then can you realize that, okay, this is something that I want. This is something that I accept versus this is something that I don't like or don't want to accept. And that could be true for anything, whether that's how people speak to you, how you talk to other people, how you build relationships, etc., etc. Like the list is endless. And just, to add to the existing question, when we look at the world, this might be a little abstract, but yes, there are a lot of people who are becoming more and more conscious about how they speak to other people, how they speak to themselves. Most importantly, there is a general rise of awareness in that sense that, okay, we need to be better. But in a larger sense, the world is designed in a very ruthless, indifferent, and in a very materialistic way. So at that stage, looking around us, how do you find that community or how do you find that kind of peace within yourself and around you? I think that's a very good question. And, we can see that progressively the world started becoming more materialistic or more capitalistic. People wanted to earn money. Still the same. But I think after COVID, there was a shift that happened. People started becoming more conscious and aware of the things that actually matter in life, right? Like spending time with loved ones or your relationships around, your relationship with your own self. A lot of people engaged themselves in activities that they like, that they never did, going back to things that they enjoyed. Yeah, like doing things that they never did or spending more time with family that they never took that time out, right? And I think we started forming this group or this community where people then found the importance or started becoming more conscious of greater things, of higher things. And I think we are moving towards a world where people are, valuing these things more than money, valuing relationships or valuing emotions, valuing their family more than money. There is a sector, right? When you say that, how do we find this community? I think it goes back to the higher frequency, right? What you value, where you give your time, where you give your energy, where you give your space, that's what will come back to you. What you give more of is what is going to come back to you. So I think if you seek that mindset, if you seek that vibration around you, you're going to automatically attract those kind of people. You don't even have to try. they will just come to you.
Yeah. I love what you said about, holding yourself to a higher frequency and not with the expectation of getting it in return, but when you're in that space, you automatically attract the right kind of people. So I think that is something that, I'm going to add to my to-do list. I love that. So it's a very nice reinforcement for a person like me because I get lost sometimes in the process. Because, some days are more difficult than the others. And in this process, I also learned that, it's quite convenient to call yourself a believer, but you can't call yourself one if you only choose to believe on the good days. So, okay, it's a process. You're pushing through it.
And I think it works best when you're having the bad days. Because you're being tested. And then when you show that faith, that okay, I believe in myself and I believe in the universe. Oh my God, then it works.
This was such a lovely conversation. I'm so glad you took out the time to join me. And thank you for being on Thought Wall. Thank you for being our first guest speaker. I really hope that we have more of these conversations. And I'm sure everyone who listens to this whole talk will have so many useful insights to take away. And not just in the form of ideas, but things that they can actually adopt in their life. And people, they can actually grow as human beings, which I feel was the whole purpose of this conversation.
Thank you for having me. I think it's so important to have conversations around these things because, like we said, we want ourselves and others to grow as well. So this conversation is not only helpful for the both of us, but I think, yeah, for everyone who's going to end up listening to this and then, them practicing in their lives, I think that's all that matters.
Yes. So, everyone, don't forget to follow ATM on Instagram.
And don't forget to like, share, subscribe to Thought Wall and stay tuned.